Have you ever stopped to think about how one company quietly changed the way billions of people shop, work, read, watch movies, listen to music, store data, and even run businesses? What if I told you that one of the most powerful companies in human history started inside a small garage with a simple idea and a dream that sounded almost impossible? And what if the lessons behind that company's rise could completely change how you think about money, success, opportunity, and your own future? Because what you're about to discover isn't just the story of Amazon. It's the story of vision. It's the story of risk. It's the story of seeing opportunities long before everyone else notices them. And most importantly, it's the story of how ordinary people often miss life-changing opportunities because they focus on what exists today instead of what could exist tomorrow. Stay with me because what happened next changed everything. Back in the early 1990s, the internet was still a mystery to most people. Most Americans had never used it. Most businesses didn't understand it. Most investors ignored it. The average person looked at the internet and saw confusion. But one man saw something completely different. His name was Jeff Bezos. At the time, Bezos had a prestigious job on Wall Street. He was successful. He was earning well. He had stability. The kind of stability millions of people spend their entire lives chasing. Yet something bothered him. He discovered a statistic that changed his life forever. Internet usage was growing at over 2,000% per year. Think about that for a moment. Not 20%. Not 200%. Over 2,000%. Most people never realize this. Life-changing opportunities often appear before anyone understands their true value. And that's exactly what Bezos saw. He realized that if the internet continued growing at that pace, it would eventually transform nearly every industry on Earth. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of waiting for certainty, instead of waiting until everyone agreed, instead of waiting until the opportunity felt safe, he made a decision. A decision that terrified him. He quit his high-paying Wall Street career. Imagine that moment. Imagine explaining to your family that you're leaving a secure future to start an online bookstore when almost nobody buys products online. Imagine the fear. Imagine the doubt. Imagine the criticism. Most people would never take that risk. Most people would choose comfort. Most people would stay where they are. And that's exactly why most people never achieve extraordinary results. Success often requires walking away from what's comfortable to pursue what's possible. In 1994, Bezos started Amazon from a garage. No billion-dollar company. No global empire. No warehouses everywhere. No streaming platform. No cloud computing business. Just a dream. And a vision. At first, Amazon sold books. That's it. Books. Nothing glamorous. Nothing revolutionary. Nothing that looked like it would change the world. And that's one of the biggest lessons in business. Massive success often starts looking very small. The biggest opportunities rarely announce themselves. They don't arrive wearing a crown. They arrive disguised as simple ideas. As Amazon began growing, many people laughed. Many experts doubted the business. Traditional retailers believed online shopping would never become mainstream. Investors questioned the model. Competitors underestimated the threat. But Bezos wasn't building for today. He was building for tomorrow. And that's a mindset that separates extraordinary achievers from average performers. Average people ask, what works right now? Visionaries ask, what will work 10 years from now? That single difference changes everything. As Amazon expanded, Bezos became obsessed with one thing. Customer experience. Not short-term profits. Not quarterly headlines. Not impressing critics. Customer experience. He believed that if customers loved the service, everything else would eventually follow. This single decision changed the outcome completely. Amazon focused relentlessly on faster delivery, better selection, lower prices, convenience, and customers responded. Millions arrived, then tens of millions, then hundreds of millions. The growth became impossible to ignore. But here's something almost nobody talks about. The road wasn't smooth. Far from it. During the dot-com crash in the early 2000s, countless internet companies collapsed. Investors lost billions. Businesses disappeared overnight. Fear spread everywhere. Many people believed Amazon would fail too. The company's stock dropped dramatically. Critics predicted bankruptcy. Experts declared the experiment over. Can you imagine the pressure? Can you imagine reading headlines every day saying your company won't survive? Most people would quit. Most people would panic. Most people would retreat. But Bezos kept building. Because real vision isn't tested when things are easy. It's tested when everything appears to be falling apart. And that's a lesson that applies far beyond business. Your future isn't determined by how you perform when conditions are perfect. It's determined by how you respond when conditions become difficult. Amazon survived. Then it grew stronger. Then it became unstoppable. But what happened next shocked almost everyone. Instead of staying an online retailer, Amazon began expanding into entirely new industries. And this is where the story becomes truly incredible. The company launched Amazon Prime. At first, many people thought the idea was crazy. Unlimited shipping for a yearly fee. How could that possibly work? Yet Prime transformed customer loyalty forever. Customers didn't just shop occasionally anymore. They became part of an ecosystem. An ecosystem designed around convenience. And convenience is one of the most powerful forces in modern business. People don't just buy products. They buy time. They buy simplicity. They buy relief. Amazon understood that better than almost anyone. But Bezos wasn't finished. Not even close. Because hidden inside Amazon was a business that would eventually become one of the most valuable operations in human history. A business that most consumers never think about. A business that quietly powers much of the internet itself. Amazon Web Services. Oz. Stay with me because this is where most people fail to understand Amazon. When people think about Amazon, they think about packages arriving at their door. But Oz changed everything. Companies needed servers. Companies needed storage. Companies needed computing power. Instead of building their own infrastructure, businesses could rent it from Amazon. What seemed like a side project became a giant. Today, countless startups, corporations, governments, and organizations rely on cloud computing. And AWS became one of the most profitable divisions inside Amazon. Think about the lesson hidden here. Sometimes the biggest opportunities are not the obvious ones. Sometimes the most valuable asset in your life isn't the thing everyone notices. It's the thing quietly growing in the background. The thing nobody is paying attention to. The thing that looks boring today but becomes priceless tomorrow. This pattern repeats throughout history. And it repeats in individual lives too. People often spend years chasing crowded opportunities while ignoring the hidden opportunities sitting right in front of them. Amazon continued expanding. Streaming. Artificial intelligence. Smart devices. Logistics. Healthcare initiatives. Advertising. Everywhere people looked, Amazon seemed to be entering new markets. And every time critics said it couldn't work. Every time experts predicted failure. Every time competitors underestimated the company. Amazon kept growing. Why? Because it wasn't thinking in quarters. It was thinking in decades. And that's becoming increasingly rare. Modern culture encourages instant gratification, immediate rewards, quick wins, fast results. Amazon became powerful because it embraced the opposite: long-term thinking, patience, investment, vision. Most people want success immediately. But wealth, influence, and freedom often come from decisions whose rewards appear years later. That's why so many people quit too soon. That's why so many dreams die early. That's why so many opportunities are missed. People underestimate what can happen in 10 years. And they overestimate what can happen in 10 days. Amazon's journey proves the power of consistency. One decision, then another, then another, compounded over decades. Just like investing. Just like skill development. Just like building a business. Small actions become extraordinary outcomes when given enough time. Now imagine you're sitting at home. You're watching this video. You have goals, dreams, ambitions. Maybe you want financial freedom. Maybe you want to escape paycheck to paycheck living. Maybe you want more time with family. Maybe you want control over your future. And maybe part of you wonders whether success is only for other people. Whether billion-dollar companies are built by different kinds of humans. Here's the truth. Every giant company started small. Every successful entrepreneur started inexperienced. Every expert started as a beginner. Every achievement started as an idea. The difference isn't talent alone. It's action. It's persistence. It's vision. It's the willingness to keep moving when results aren't visible yet. Amazon teaches us something powerful. Opportunities don't wait forever. The internet opportunity arrived. Most people ignored it. Amazon embraced it. Cloud computing arrived. Most people overlooked it. Amazon embraced it. Artificial intelligence arrived. Once again, a new wave of opportunity is emerging. And history is asking the same question it has always asked. Who will act? And who will watch? Because make no mistake, the future belongs to people willing to learn before everyone else learns. To adapt before everyone else adapts. To move before everyone else moves. That's the pattern. It's always been the pattern. And it will continue to be the pattern. Now here's the part that matters most. The part that has nothing to do with warehouses, delivery trucks, or stock prices. The real Amazon story isn't about a company. It's about a mindset. A mindset that refuses to be limited by current circumstances. A mindset that sees possibility where others see obstacles. A mindset that understands that today's uncertainty can become tomorrow's opportunity. Imagine if Bezos had stayed comfortable on Wall Street. Imagine if he had waited for certainty. Imagine if he had listened to every critic. Imagine if fear had won. Amazon might never have existed. And that's a reminder for all of us. Fear protects us. But sometimes fear also traps us. Sometimes the greatest risk is not taking a risk. Sometimes the greatest regret isn't failure. It's never trying. Years from now, many people will look back and wish they had started earlier. Earlier investing. Earlier learning. Earlier building. Earlier taking action. Earlier believing in themselves. Don't let that become your story. Because every day you delay is a day you never get back. Every month you wait is another month someone else is moving forward. Every year you hesitate is another year your future remains unchanged. The people who create extraordinary lives are not always the smartest. They're often the people who decide. They decide to learn. They decide to act. They decide to persist. They decide to continue when others quit. And that's exactly what Amazon did. A small online bookstore became one of the most influential companies in history. Not because success happened overnight. Not because the journey was easy. Not because failure wasn't possible. But because vision remained stronger than fear. Persistence remained stronger than doubt. And long-term thinking remains stronger than short-term discomfort. So as this video comes to an end, remember this. Amazon's story is not just about business. It's about possibility. It's proof that the future belongs to people willing to think differently. People willing to see what others miss. People willing to stay committed long enough for their efforts to compound. Most people will watch opportunities pass by. Most people will wait for the perfect moment. Most people will stay where they are. But a small percentage will take action. A small percentage will learn new skills. A small percentage will embrace change. A small percentage will build instead of merely consume. And those people often create extraordinary futures. The question is simple. Which group will you join? Will you spend the next decade watching others build their dreams? Or will you start building your own? Because somewhere out there, the next Amazon-sized opportunity is already forming. Most people can't see it yet. Most people won't recognize it. Most people will ignore it. Until it's obvious. And by then, it will be too late. Don't wait for obvious. Don't wait for certainty. Don't wait for permission. Learn. Grow. Adapt. Take action. Your future is being shaped by the decisions you make today. And the most powerful decision you can make is deciding that your current situation does not define your final destination. If Amazon's journey teaches us anything, it's this. Extraordinary outcomes begin with ordinary decisions repeated consistently over time. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. The rewards belong to those who act. And the opportunity belongs to those who are willing to see it before everyone else. If you believe your future can be bigger than your present, this is your moment. Take that first step. Because one decision can change everything.